Arne Slot makes Liverpool kids part of the misery in sacking footnote. Alexis Mac Allister in the rain for Liverpool. Arne Slot claiming he's trying to create a pathway for young players to play in front of 60,000 people, as justification for his team and squad selection will have offered scant consolation for the majority of those 60,000 supporters, who will have hoped to watch the senior Liverpool team fronting up and possibly winning a rare game of football rather than the kids lose one. They will have seen through that nonsense in any case, even without their manager revealing the second, much more convincing reason for ceding this game to Crystal Palace. Slot added, "If we keep playing the same players, like for example I tried with Alexander Isak, with players that are missed out on pre-season, that is a big risk of another injury, and we only have at this moment of time 15 or 16 senior players available." Social media was awash with perplexed and frustrated Liverpool fans after the team's news was announced, with the squad named by Slot seen as an admission by many that the Dutchman couldn't care less about their progress in the Carabao Cup, or indeed a victory to break them from their funk. 10 changes to the starting 11 and 6 players on the bench with squad numbers in the 90s was testament to that indifference and suggests Slot believes his Liverpool stars need a rest more than the club needs a win, which is quite something after 5 defeats and 6-4 on the spin in the Premier League. The Carabao Cup has indeed historically been used to blood young players, by Liverpool and others. Rightly or wrongly, it's seen as a free hit. Victory would be nice, but resting overworked first-teamers is the priority. But the free hit and the rest should be a luxury earned by decent performances and results. And while Slot will be hoping the narrative after this game will be based around the idea that it doesn't really count as a defeat because of the relative experience of the two teams, their horrific run negates that typical leeway. The kids would normally be hailed, win, lose or draw, for doing their club proud after a game like this. Instead, the focus will be on why Slot decided to put them in the firing line for shots that should have been aimed at the overpaid flops who have slumped dramatically this season to put them in crisis. This should be a game to buoy the young players, but Slot has made them a part of the misery, with their takeaway from what will have been one of few tastes, if not their first taste, of life as a Liverpool player at Anfield being that it's a stadium full of depressed, silent fans who are understandably irritated to be watching them as Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah and the rest of them watched on in their cozy coats. After Ismaila Sarr scored his 4th and 5th goal against Liverpool in quick succession just before half-time, the Liverpool fans could have been forgiven for wondering what the point was in staying to watch the second half, with no hope of a comeback given the list of teenagers Slot had to call upon from the bench. And while a Carabao Cup defeat is insignificant in normal circumstances, and maybe still won't register as more than footnote in a list of misdemeanors come Judgment Day for Slot, his complete disregard for a game of football in the midst of this crisis, the ill-deserved break he's afforded to the multi-millionaire players who have put them in it, and the way he's dressed up these young players being hung out to dry as an opportunity makes this far more of a factor in the admittedly premature sack talk than it otherwise would be. Make no mistake, this game counted. It's 6 defeats in 7 for the reigning Premier League champions. Liverpool screwed Mark Guéhi transfer in biggest Premier League regret of the season. Crystal Palace captain Mark Guéhi during the Community Shield. Crystal Palace captain Mark Guéhi is not in the Premier League team of the season, but if there's one thing he deserves recognition for, it's being the biggest mistransfer after Liverpool failed to sign him in the summer. Liverpool agreed a deal to sign Guéhi from Premier League rivals Palace on deadline day, only for it to collapse in the final hours of the transfer window. Mark Guéhi's failed Liverpool move. What happened next? Liverpool entered the season lacking sufficient centre-back depth. Ibrahima Konate exposed and unable to be pulled from the firing line. Virgil van Dijk's performances decline as a result. Guéhi remains professional and is flying with the Eagles. Guéhi has continued to establish himself as one of the Premier League's leading centre-backs, and a key player for England ahead of next summer's World Cup in North America. The 2026 tournament was a major factor in him deciding his future club in the summer transfer window and, after months of speculation, Liverpool and Palace agreed a £35 million fee as Guéhi entered the final 12 months of his contract at Selhurst Park. The Eagles had agreed a deal to sign Igor Julio from rivals Brighton, but the player backed out at the last minute and joined West Ham instead, for some bizarre reason. With no replacement secured for his captain and most important player, Oliver Glasner and Palace pulled the plug on the deal, and Guéhi stayed put. This left Liverpool short at the back, though they did only reach an agreement with Palace in the final hours of a 12-week-long transfer window, so really, they only have themselves to blame. No failed transfer has had a bigger impact than Guéhi to Liverpool. Following the close of the summer window, Liverpool boss Arne Slot was left with a serious lack of centre-back depth, underlined when he tried to ease concerns about missing out on Guéhi by insisting midfielders Ryan Gravenberch and Wataru Endo could play there if needed. His center-back pairing of Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk were still regarded as one of the best in the Premier League, but an injury to either could have been disastrous in their title defense. This isn't to disrespect Joe Gomez or Giovanni Leone, but the former is injury-prone and doesn't seem to be trusted by Slot, and Leone is only a teenager and new to English football. Those two don't provide nearly enough depth behind the injury-prone Konate and 34-year-old Van Dijk. And Leone's season-ending ACL injury on his debut made matters worse. Ironically, neither starter has suffered an injury in the opening 3 months of 2025-26, but their performances have gradually declined. Van Dijk started the season strongly, but Konate's incredible downturn in form has rubbed off on his captain in recent weeks, notably in Saturday's defeat at Brentford, a fourth Premier League loss in a row for the champions. Konate's performances have been horrendous compared to last season and, with Van Dijk also beginning to struggle, fingers are being pointed at the midfield protection, the fullbacks, and how Slot sets up his team. The addition of Guéhi might not have completely changed Liverpool's season, but it would have forced Konate to perform or lose his place, given Slot a superb backup for the underperforming Frenchman, and potentially steadied the backline. With Guéhi alongside Van Dijk, there's a decent chance Liverpool's defense would look a lot stronger. The Reds really get it by waiting so long to agree a deal with Palace. The England international is available on a free transfer at the end of the season, and while Liverpool remain favourites to sign him, the lack of a transfer fee could invite Bayern Munich and Real Madrid into the mix, a frightening prospect for the champions. Mark Guéhi, a notable omission from 2025-26 Premier League team of the season. Guéhi's form has been tremendous again this campaign as Liverpool falter in the Premier League, losing their last 4 to fall to 7th in the table. Palace, meanwhile, were on a 19-match unbeaten run until defeat at Everton on October 5th, a week after beating Liverpool at home and ending Slotside's 100% record in the league. Despite his top-notch performances for the Eagles, Guéhi doesn't feature in our Premier League team of the season based on WhoScored ratings. In fact, there are 4 centre-backs with a higher average match rating in the top flight this campaign. Making the team are Arsenal's Gabriel Magalhaes and Sunderland's summer signing Nordi Mukiel. Also ahead of Guéhi are Bournemouth's Marco Senesi and Sunderland's Dan Ballard, while Chelsea's Trevoh Chalobah has the same rating, 7.20. Having played every minute for 10th place Palace this season, Guéhi has been superb, and is clearly a player Liverpool will regret missing out on in the summer. Savage Vinicius Jr. jibe at Lamine Yamal revealed as Real Madrid shut down Barcelona wonderkid in huge El Clasico victory. Vinicius Jr.'s savage on-field jibe at Lamine Yamal has been revealed. Yamal put in a disappointing El Clasico showing as Barcelona fell to a 2-1 loss at Real Madrid on Sunday afternoon, a result that leaves the defending La Liga champions 5 points off Los Blancos. And to add salt to the wounds, Vinicius' comments to the teenager have now been made public. Yamal disappoints in El Clasico. Yamal struggled to impact El Clasico as Barcelona fell to a 2-1 loss at the Bernabeu. Kylian Mbappe's 22nd minute opener was cancelled out by Fermin Lopez in the 38th minute. However, Los Blancos went back ahead shortly before the break through Jude Bellingham. Mbappe saw a second-half penalty saved by Wojciech Szczesny, with a Pole stepping in for the injured Joan Garcia between the sticks, but it needn't have mattered as Real Madrid went 5 points clear at the top of the table. Yamal managed 2 shots and created 2 goal-scoring chances but was largely kept in check by the Real Madrid backline. And it's now been revealed that Vinicius Jr. launched a disrespectful jibe at the 18-year-old as Barcelona struggled at the Bernabeu. Vinicius mocks Yamal to his face. During the match, Vinicius and the rest of the Real squad appeared riled at Yamal for some of the teenager's pre-match comments. The Barcelona star said, "Yes, of course, they steal, they complain." When talking about Real Madrid on Twitch, Vinicius didn't pass up the chance to launch his own jibe at the Barcelona winger. "Nothing but back passes, huh? Just passing it back to the defenders," the Real Madrid star reportedly said to the teenager when they were in close proximity. The pair also had to be separated at full time as tempers flared between both sides. Pedri received his marching orders shortly before Cesar Soto Grado called time on El Clasico, with a Barcelona midfielder pulled up for a late foul on Aurelien Tchouameni after being carded for a foul on Vinicius in the first half. Vinicius was at the heart of the post-match confrontation as the Brazilian targeted Barcelona trio Alejandro Balde, Yamal and Rafinha. However, the forward wasn't the only Real Madrid star to have been caught dishing out comments to Yamal in a fiery El Clasico encounter at the Bernabeu, with Thibaut Courtois and Dani Carvajal also involved. Further bookings were dished out to Vinicius, Eder Militao and Rodrigo for their roles in the melee. Backup Real Madrid goalkeeper Andriy Lunin, meanwhile, also saw red and a feisty end to the clash. "You speak too much." Carvajal was caught exchanging words with Spain teammate Yamal in the center circle at full time, and the experienced defender reportedly said, "You speak too much. Speak now." Yamal tried to confront Carvajal, but was ushered away by Barcelona teammates. Frenkie de Jong, meanwhile, said of the post-match scenes at the Bernabeu, "I didn't see what happened. I was on the bench and saw a lot of people. When the referee blew his whistle, Real Madrid players went after Lamine. It's a bit exaggerated. You'd have to ask them. In the first half, we weren't sharp with the ball. Madrid hurt with their players up front. In the second half, we lacked the ability to create danger and clear chances. If Carvajal wanted to speak with Lamine, call him or text him. Your teammates, you know each other. Why do you have to make a scene on the pitch?" Xabi Alonso speaks out about Vinicius' drop. Vinicius was withdrawn in the 72nd minute and was furious when he saw his number go up as Xabi Alonso looked to bring Rodrigo on. Rather than sit on the bench, Vinicius instead headed straight down the tunnel and ignored the Real Madrid boss on his way off the pitch. Alonso has admitted he'll have a conversation with Vinicius following his subs drop, stating after the game, "Vini's character? There are different personalities in any dressing room. Right now we will enjoy the win, then we'll have a conversation for sure." Real Madrid are expected to maintain their lead at the top of the La Liga table when they welcome winless Valencia to the Bernabeu next weekend. Scott McTominay tipped to make shock Premier League return due to suffocating attention at Napoli after Man United transfer. Scott McTominay could be on his way back to the Premier League, just over a year after leaving Manchester United for Napoli. Despite guiding the Italian Giants to a Serie A title and becoming a fan favorite in Naples, reports claim the Scottish midfielder has struggled to adapt to the intensity of life off the pitch, with sources describing the attention as suffocating. McTominay dazzles in Italy. After a glittering debut campaign in Italy, McTominay's time at Napoli has taken an unexpected turn as per The Sun. The Scotland international joined the club from Manchester United in the summer of 2024 for around £25 million and played a pivotal role in their title triumph, scoring 12 goals and earning Serie A's Player of the Year award. His performances even saw him finish 18th in the Ballon d'Or rankings. However, as per The Sun's report, things have become more complicated this season. While McTominay has scored 3 times in the opening weeks of the new campaign, Napoli have found consistency harder to come by and sit third in Serie A, trailing AC Milan by 2 points, before their win over Inter Milan on Saturday. The midfielder is reportedly finding life off the pitch more challenging than on it, prompting talk that he could consider a return to English football sooner rather than later. That speculation has only grown after The Sun reported that McTominay is finding the overwhelming passion of Napoli's fan base increasingly difficult to manage. Despite being adored in the city, the constant public attention and limited personal freedom are said to have taken a toll. The same report suggests that several Premier League sides are already monitoring his situation closely ahead of next summer's transfer window. McTominay suffocated in Serie A. According to a source quoted in the report, McTominay's struggles have more to do with lifestyle than footballing matters. "Scott loves elements of Italian life and had a wonderful first season," the source said. "But the passion of the fans can be a blessing but also make things difficult. He is treated as a god over there, but it means he finds it difficult to do simple things when he's not training. The attention can be suffocating." The Scots' profile in Naples has skyrocketed following his heroics last season, where he was often the driving force in Antonio Conte's midfield. His blend of physical strength, late runs into the box, and leadership have made him indispensable to the reigning champions. Still, McTominay's fame has brought challenges few expected. The streets of Naples are football mad, and top players are treated like royalty, a status that comes with constant attention from fans and media alike. However, the same fanfare can quickly turn into rage if performance levels drop and results fail to back the team. McTominay still scoring. McTominay's transition to Italian football was viewed as a bold step in his career after 22 years at Manchester United, where he came through the academy and became a reliable figure under multiple managers. His £25 million transfer to Napoli was primarily driven by United's need to comply with profit and sustainability rules, with the club reluctantly sanctioning his sale despite Erik ten Hag's preference to keep him. The move allowed United to generate pure profit in their books while McTominay sought a new challenge abroad. In Naples, the midfielder wasted no time silencing any doubters. He became the heartbeat of a Napoli side that dethroned Inter Milan to lift their 4th Serie A crown. His goals, leadership, and physical presence earned him Player of the Year honors and widespread praise across Europe. McTominay's success even sparked debates among pundits, with some calling United's decision to sell him a mistake, given how integral he became in Italy. What comes next? Despite the growing talk of discomfort off the field, McTominay remains a central figure in Conte's plans. His professionalism and form continue to make him one of Serie A's most valuable midfielders, and there has been no formal indication from Napoli that they are willing to part ways. However, with several Premier League clubs reportedly keeping tabs on his situation, the prospect of a return to England cannot be ruled out. Much will depend on how McTominay adapts to life in Naples over the remainder of the season. Should the off-field pressures persist, a summer move might suit all parties, especially given Manchester United hold a 10% sell-on clause for his transfer. The Red Devils are not expected to re-enter the race, but mid to upper-table Premier League sides could see him as an ideal addition due to his experience, leadership, and proven goal threat from midfield. Marc Guéhi to Liverpool latest as sale planned, and club meet with agent. It was widely expected Liverpool could just sign Marc Guéhi for free next year after his transfer fell through, but competition for the Crystal Palace star is heating up. Marc Guéhi has clubs queuing up to sign him. There's no getting around it. Liverpool has to be ruing the fact that they failed to secure Marc Guéhi's signature during the summer window. Admittedly, Crystal Palace's withdrawal from the $47 million transfer at the last minute on deadline day wasn't their doing. However, whilst Arne Slot's attacking options were strengthened not once, not twice, but 3 times with the substantial acquisitions of Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak, his obvious centre-half shortage remained unaddressed for far too long. Even without Giovanni Leone's ACL setback, the Reds would have been lacking defensive depth for the lengthy campaign ahead. Guéhi's excellent early season form for both club and country has only added salt to the wound, and it appears Liverpool faces a considerable battle to land him after he was virtually theirs. Palace departure confirmed. Following months of speculation throughout the summer regarding whether he would stay or go, there now seems to be a clear answer regarding Guéhi's future contract, and it won't be at Selhurst Park. Palace manager Oliver Glasner made this clear last week. He said, "I think Marc has already told us that he doesn't sign a new contract, so he will leave next year. The club wanted him to stay. They offered Marc a new contract, but he said, 'No, I want to make something different.' And that's normal. And for us, it's how we can deal with this situation. What is the best way to get this next step done? And that's all about how we are talking together." Glasner made Guéhi's intentions public. January sale planned. The next question is whether Guéhi's departure will materialize in January, or at the conclusion of the campaign.